Hi, everyone. About 2 weeks ago, I shared Whiteboard.chat with you, and ever since then, I've been completely obsessed with it. So, as I said before, it's like a class kick and Microsoft Whiteboard plus Smart Notebook had a baby, and it allows you to see what the students are doing in real time, gives them access to manipulatives, so many tools, and they just keep on adding more. It's free. Yes, free. And they just added things like immersive reader and speech to text and translation. And the amount of things is just mind boggling. So I'm going to show you how to just start small, how to add in something and get your students into the whiteboard.chat. So the first thing you're going to do is go to whiteboard.chat and then click on Start Drawing. From here, click on Start Teaching. The board itself looks really overwhelming, but what you really need to know is that this board that you're on right now is called the instructor board. I'm going to name this online test, and down at the bottom, you will see that this actually says my name. It may actually say something like Michelangelo or something that's random. You can just double click and change that name. Now, this, like I said, is the board that you are going to create for your students. If you just want your students to have a blank whiteboard, then you can just give them this to get students onto it. All you have to do is go up to the top, click on invite. You can give students this QR code. You can just give them this code to type in or use this link, which is what I typically do for my virtual students. If you wanted to add things to it, there's a couple of things that you should know. First, up at the top in this gear, this is going to allow you to set the tools that you want for your students. It's going to give you the ability to change the size of the screen and allow you to turn on some other features. Up at the top, I typically have my board, my default tool, I should say, set to move and resize because I can't stand when I go into a board on Seesaw and the first thing that happens is that I start messing up the board because I'm drawing all over everything. So I change it to move and resize. That's just personal preference. You can change it to one of the other three if you want. The one underneath of that is the screen size. Right now I have mine to iPad size because I was using this with virtual primary students, but you could just put it at default size, and that would be just a typical laptop. So from here, you can check off certain things that you want. Right now I have it so that my students see simple tools because as you can see, all these tools are really overwhelming. Or there's very simple tools, which would just be draw, erase, move, and text. I can show you some other ones in a second. There's enabling webcam video recording. So if you wanted them to take videos, you can make sure that that's on or you can turn that off. You can give them the ability to create text boxes on their own, give them the ability to enable speech to text so that they can use the dictation. And you can also turn off immersive reader if you don't want the students to have access to that. Right here where it says customize menu for students, if you click on this, This is going to allow you to further your tools even more. The first time I used this with primary students, I disabled everything except for the move and resize tool. All I wanted them to do was learn how to drag and drop things. And then after that, I might add a tool at a time. Just one thing to remember when you are deciding on these features, when it's checked, that means it's disabled. Unchecked means that the students are using it. Down here, you can decide if you want students have a certain font size, brush size, or brush color. And palette means that they can change the color of their board and the color of their pen. Let me go back into that so I can show you some more. As you keep on scrolling, this is how you can add a second teacher. So if you have a special ed teacher that you want to add, or maybe a student teacher, or maybe the principal who's doing an observation, you can give them the co-teacher invite, and then they will be able to see all the students' boards as you would be able to see them. So that is how you would set it up so that you're changing the size and giving students access to only certain tools. You can see that I'm signed in. I'm just going to hit save. And that's it. Over along the side, this is where you can start adding different tools and images and PDFs, whatever it is that you want to do. Like I said, I'm staying really simple right now. So I'm actually just going to grab a PDF and put it in so that you can see how you could use this with your students. To add a PDF, I'm going to go down to the bottom, click on Upload File, and go to From Computer. I am just going to choose, let's see. This is just a random PDF I have. I'm clicking on it, and I'm going to hit Open. Depending on how long your PDF is, will change how long your board is. You can have, I believe they said up to 99 pages on a board. This particular PDF was only 1 page. If it was 3 pages, you would see on this side that it would populate 3 different pages. Now, again, I'm ready for my kids to start using this. I go to my invite code and I send this to them. If I click on my name, so M is the little avatar, I can make it so that the students have to follow me. So they can't write anything, they can't go ahead, they just have to follow what you are doing on your instructor board. You can also lock the class so that they cannot do it ahead of time. And you can also lock certain pages, which is great for when you're doing assignments or if you don't want students to go back or move forward. This right here would be if you wanted group work. I'm not going to show that to you right now, but that's just so you know. Once all the students are in, you will see all of their avatars up along here as well. You'll also be able to see all of their names in here. And what's nice about this is that you can then click on Showcase Work. And when you click on that, it's going to show the board without the student's name on it. So if you love the perfect, what was it called? The perfect no. The answer that is like not correct and you want to showcase how you work through it, or if you want to showcase great work, this is a perfect opportunity to do that. You can also showcase more than one board at a time, which also is really nice as well. Once again, the students are working, I'm going to stop showcasing that board. Down at the bottom, you can click on Grid View and you will be able to see all of your students working. Again, you'll be able to see them working in real time. Not only will you be able to work in real time, you'll be able to click onto their board and join their board, give them feedback, help them, whatever it is that you would like to do. This is great for a couple of reasons. Obviously, when you're working with a small group or they're doing asynchronous work, it allows you to pop in and give them really specific, immediate feedback on their board before they kind of move on. You can also check work, before they move on as well. So speaking of checking work, another great thing, something that you should point out to your students, is that up at the top, there is a hand raise feature. This hand raise feature allows you to see, I'm not logged in as a student, but when they click on it, it'll say, I'm finished or I need help. And this will also pop up when you are teaching. It'll pop up here, or in the grid view, you'll be able to see that as well. Now, there are a lot of other things to do, but those things that I just showed you are the absolute basics for you to get started. It doesn't need to be crazy. It doesn't need to have so much stuff on it. The purpose is so that you can quickly and easily give students some part of a lesson, and you are able to see them as they are working. This works on the iPads because it's on the internet. This works on the laptops, but it allows you to see in real time exactly what they are doing. And like I said, there's way more to this than what I just showed you. But what I just showed you now, will allow you to at least get started without being overwhelmed. It will allow you to see what the possibilities are without feeling like, oh my gosh, there's so much to learn. Now, really quick, I'm going to show you one other thing, just so that if you would like to get started, I have something that will allow you and your students to kind of test it out to see what it could potentially look like, while also not overwhelming them or feeling like you need to teach them another thing. So on Valentine's Day, I had a class that was a day ahead of one of my other classes. So I created this really simple board using Legos. Now, this Lego board, as I said before, I turned off most of the tools so that, let me go back so you can actually see one of my classes work. But I turned off all the tools so that all they had to do was drag. But this allowed me to see how it works from the teacher end, allowed me to pop in to different boards, showcase things and just practice things without me worrying about what the kids were doing. So this is exactly what the board looks like. I have it set. This is obviously the instructor board, so you can't tell, but I went through and essentially made this board so that the Legos were already infinitely cloned. So they could just drag the Lego pieces up to create some kind of structure. As they were working, I could see them pulling things over. I could join their boards. But this is a really great way to introduce Whiteboardchat. It's already created for you because I'm going to give you a link so that you can copy it. And it will allow you and your students to practice without having to think. So if you're interested in this, as I said, I'm going to share this with you, so it'll be on the slide that I'm going to be sharing. But it makes it really easy. I did this with a first grade class. All they have to do is click on the link and type in their name. Once they do that, They just drag the blocks. It is very, very simple. They had very little questions. They had fun, but it allowed me to see exactly what Whiteboardchat could do from the teacher end while not having to worry about the students so much. So I'm going to give you guys this as my little treat so that you can try this out even before attempting to create your own board. I hope you have fun. I hope you love this. Enjoy it. It's great. And I'm going to try to make more videos to show the more advanced skills and all the other cool tools and things that you can do. Because like I said, I showed you very basics. I didn't get into much, but I wanted you to see how easy it is to implement. Okay, don't forget you can click on the link on the PowerPoint to get this template for you to use with your class. I hope you enjoy, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.